Hello, everyone, and welcome to the first online lecture of Bio158, or Life Science, a Human Approach. These lectures are meant to accompany note sheets that should be used to guide your note-taking as you listen to these presentations. The note sheets are all available on Canvas, as are these recordings. So if you haven't downloaded that, please pause and do so now. These note sheets will be what quizzes and exams are based on, so be sure and study them well. So let's get going now. First question is, are we just like any other animal? And I think we all know the answer to this, even if, we haven't studied biology. Of course, we are all animals, and I think we know that. But keep in mind that you're an animal that's watching a lecture right now using computers built by humans and books written by humans to learn about and study other forms of life. So although we are animals, that's something that makes us very different and unique. But although there is plenty that makes us different from other animals, we do also meet all of the characteristics for an organism to be considered alive. We can see the 8 characteristics for life listed below, and they are: we are made of cells, we grow and develop, we obtain and use energy and matter, we respond to the environment around us, we maintain what's called homeostasis, we reproduce, we evolve, and the genetic material that we contain is DNA. So, the first of our characteristics that we're going to dive into is that all life is made of cells. Cells being the smallest unit of life. Now, some life is termed unicellular, or has a single cell. A good example of a single-celled organism is bacteria. So if you've ever heard of, say, E. coli, E. coli is something that can sometimes get us sick. That is a type of bacteria and is very much alive. Now, some life is what's called multicellular. This means that these organisms have a lot of different cells. So we are a great example of a multicellular organism. We started as a single cell and have grown and developed until today. We now are roughly about 37 trillion cells, all working together to basically make you, you. Second, all life grows and develops. We can see on the screen some examples of life. You probably recognize humans in the upper left corner, but there may be some things on the screen that you didn't know were alive. So for example, bacteria on the slide in the upper right corner, plants in the lower left, and even fungi in the form of mushrooms in the lower right corner. Next, all life must have a way to obtain energy and matter. And how do we actually get energy to function? I'll give you a hint. You might be doing it right now in front of this computer screen. If you guessed that eating food was the way that we get energy to function, then you're absolutely correct. We eat food to get important nutrients and the building blocks required to grow and function. And how do we obtain these materials? Right? We break down that food into things that our body can use to grow and repair itself. If you're following along on your note sheet, you should have the answers filled in for the first 3 questions. If you don't have those filled in, please go back and listen to this lecture portion again. And if you've been filling out the answers as you've been sort of moving along, feel free to move to the next piece of the lecture.